It was at the crossroads of the world, and never cared. A diner by design, a bar by function, and a home by necessity. Behind the bar, a tall, inelegant man with ropey forearms, forever polishing a mug with his fingers holding the handle, the stump of his left hand keeping it still as he worked tirelessly. A full shift could see a score of the 51 mugs all cleaned, although no more than half of that ever saw more than dust inside of them. The waitress on duty was part of the third generation to the role. Her mother's mother served the same tapped kegs as did her daughter, a trade ingrained as deep as her weathered skin's wrinkles. Her sensibilities were sharp, as were her eyes, a family trait. Seated in the corner booth, overlooking the only surviving window not coated in badly applied bricks, two drivers for the local tow company, their matching hats the end of their similarities. Both of them had scars and tattoos describing life on the road, behind bars, in enemy territories, marriages, divorces, the loss of loved ones, new lives made. One a ginger, the other blonde. Neither smiled much. Working a pool table was a man in a contest with himself. The newest of arrivals to the small community, an unusual sort. Wore a dress shirt, slacks, sensible shoes, never swore, tipped well, spoke of no homeland nor kin. A zero sum, yet no mystery provided an aura to him. Questions brought fists, not answers in some places. The door opened and they walked in. Their unusual sort even more bold, outlandish even. Their chosen mode of dress resembled jumpsuits, the markings of the invaders, a decade and a half removed from the world, a tale told more than a memory relived for most people. Three of them stared at the locals, one of them sneering in cold, malignant irritation. "One," he said, holding up a clawed finger, the nail of it hooked and curved, a warrior's talon, fierce and proven, forever stained in old blood, rust-red death. "Does not belong." The waitress was smiling when she spoke to them, her eyes cold, fierce. "More than one, sugar. Still time to leave." Her smile did not touch her eyes. The three stood in a loose formation and then spread quickly, moving to positions by the front door, the rear exit, the bartender. The tallest of the three, their leader, addressed the entire population present. "We won't leave until we have what we came for, peasants. You know what we want." The bartender set down the mug, staring at the speaker, then shook his head. "When your kind shot at my wingman, we sent him packing into the Cold Springs Mountains. Smartest move they ever made was staying put, agreeing to never stray. Still got time to leave." The tallest smirked, then gestured to the bartender's stump, chortling. "A down payment," he said. "Shall we collect more today?" The pair of truckers rose, angling their heads first to the left, then the right, drawing in deep, heavy breaths, a motion sequence in simultaneous action. The redhead addressed the tallest directly. "You ain't hearing so good, sailor. You ain't from around here. So go on, get. Back to your safe place." The blonde, flanking him, crossed his arms, revealing the scores of thin, narrow lines. Hash marks. A kill count in the dozens. "We aim to be better than we was," he said. "Still got time. Ain't gone too far yet." He then angled his thumb towards the door. The man playing pool stopped, holding up his hand, approaching the bar, his expression forlorn. "Everyone, please," he said. "They're here for me, and I won't see violence done on my behalf." The trio exchanged a smirk, their masks temporarily warping to reveal the cold, clammy skin of their amphibious natures, the benchmarks of their species, a shared trait as the pool players' own, one world removed from theirs. The tallest spoke again. "You ran," he said. "We found you. You'll pay. While we have agreed to leave the humans intact, to live in their reservation, you are still subject to Imperial laws. A criminal of old, it's time to serve your sentence, convict. The truckers exchanged first a glance, then several words, and addressed the hustler. "Jeet," the redhead said, "that true? You been a prisoner and such?" The blonde, giving a sidelong glance, seemed skeptical. His expression would have cast doubts on water being a suitable place to find fish. The hustler, Jeet, sighed and nodded. "Yes," he said. "Clive, Kiki, Murray, Kung Fu Mike, Big Mike, it's all true." Each named person looked to the hustler, frowning, eyes locked on him as he spoke. "I stole weapons from them and supplied it to the resistance. It was agreed that in exchange I would be allowed to live among your kind, so long as I never shifted to my original form again." The trio, their smiles affixed, moved in on Jeet, and seemed surprised when a pair of hands gripped them by the shoulders. Clive and Murray, the truckers, held them fast, and pulled them back with the strength of angry men. Now, Clive said, his red hair unruly and wild. "It ain't that kind of a day. Jeet ain't a-goin' unless he says he wants to go." Clive then looked at Jeet, staring into those cool, icy blue eyes. "Say so, Jeet, and it'll be so." Jeet paused, about to speak, then saw Kiki give the smallest of smiles. "No." The tallest frowned, then pointed his clawed hand at Jeet. "Your input," he said with a snarl, "is unneeded." The bartender, Big Mike, was smiling when he spoke next. "Okay," he said. "Now it's too late." A button behind the bar was pressed and the doors locked, deadbolts clicking home, a steel shutter dropping down over the window, darkening the room instantly. The trio of invaders went back to back to back, an easy formation, and then felt a series of angry, fierce strikes hitting them first from the left flank, then a barrage of rapid thuds, all originating from the right field. Holding her stiletto-style knife, Kiki glared, her lips a thin, angry line of white, lined in peach gloss, blood oozing into her hand. She struck one of them a dozen times, scoring several into vital organs, shock not yet arriving, although due soon. Flexing on his heels, Kung Fu Mike bounded in place, his fists still flushed from the rapid strikes of his palm and knuckles across the ribs of his chosen target. He readied a kick, already estimating the trajectory of his target. The tallest, as yet unwounded, turned to face the pair of attackers, still snarling in outrage, and then felt the cold, empty muzzle of Big Mike's shotgun, a mule-leg design dating back more than a century, built to be fired one-handed by an expert. He racked the action with a twirl of it in his grip, the shell casing landing on the bar with a clatter. "Want to see a magic trick?" The tallest then furrowed his faux eyebrows, making quick calculations, then nodded gently. Big Mike smiled, then squeezed the trigger, performing a disappearing act. The body hit the floor almost as fast as the head struck the walls and ceiling. Racking the action, he swiveled to face the surviving pair, then addressed them. "Ain't too late." Both of them, a pair of skilled hunters, read the trail sign and held their hands up, a universal sign of tactical analysis, retreating to the rear door. With a buzz and a click, it opened, and they both performed a variant of the disappearing act, although they would be able to repeat the trick later. When the door closed, Kiki was already dragging the corpse toward the kitchen, his fate a trip to the incinerator in the backyard. Stunned, Jeet finally spoke, breaking the silence. "Why?" Big Mike, shrugging his shoulders, gestured to the bar's register. "Still got an unpaid tab, Jeet, and ain't nobody cutting in on my profits. Y'all ain't from around here, so there's that." The two truckers, both of them already at their seat, were drinking their beer, then saluted Jeet, one of them tapping the spiderweb on his elbow. "Can't go letting them take a fella back to the joint, Jeet," he said, and this was agreed upon by his partner. "You put a gun in the hands of our people, and we put what for into yours. Job's done, fair's fair. Kiki, staring at Jeet, then gestured to the corpse. "Meanwhile, Your Highness," she said with an acid tone, "when you're done having your very special episode, haul this garbage to the burn pit." "Aren't you going to call the field teams about finding me?" Kiki, frowning at him, dropped the corpse's feet, the body thudding to the ground with a wet splat. "Jeet, you dumb shit," she said. "We knew what you was when you got here. Must have been a dozen years back now. We just didn't give a fuck, is all. You ain't from around here, though." She gave him another smile, this time adding a polite, firm punch to his bicep. "That'll mean that you ain't one of us. Now, get to work." The night was, beyond that, unremarkable, until the bill for cleaning the walls was discussed. That story waits for another night.